Good morning, everyone. North Canton Mayor Steve Wilder here for the North Canton Board of Control meeting scheduled for March 24th, 2021 at 10 a.m. It is now 10:00 start. First order of business, we'll call to order. Our Finance Director, Gina Alabak.
Here.
Patrick Joyer, Administration Director.
Here.
Wayne Boyer, our Law Director.
Here.
And Steve Wilder, Mayor, is present. Also joining us today is Ms. Catherine Farina, our Deputy Director of Administration and Development, our Project Coordinator for Dogwood Park Expansion. Roll call's been completed. We have no minutes at this time, so we'll move from item 3, and we'll go right into new business. And as I stated, presenting today for the Board Control meeting is Ms. Catherine Farina, again, our Deputy Director of Administration and Development, who is the project coordinator for the Dogwood Park expansion and improvement projects. So Catherine, please go ahead and start with your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is for the Dogwood Park Expansion Improvement Project, which we put out an RFQ, request for qualifications, back on February 2nd, 2021. At that time, we received 3 submissions to the RFQ. The companies that submitted were Knock Construction, the A. Altman Company, and Beaver Constructors. At that time, we reviewed the qualifications on each company as to their ability to manage a project such as this. We held an RFQ Q&A meeting. It was a Zoom meeting. All 3 participated. They asked us questions about the project. We asked them questions about their company. Based on that, we shortlisted to move forward, and all 3 made the short list. So at that time, we also offered site visits out at the park, and I met with them, walked the site, again, asked any questions prior to the RFP. Finally, an RFP then was put out with a date due on for March 15th, and the RFP included each company's technical and pricing proposals. We did receive 3 back from the same aforementioned companies, Knock, A. Altman, and Beaver. We then subsequently held interviews on March 17th, which included presentations, PowerPoints, drawings, and going through everything contained in their RFP proposal on the technical and pricing. We had 4 evaluators at that time. It was myself. We had Director of Administration Patrick Diorio. We had our city engineer, Rob Graham, and we had administration specialist, Kelly Hart. There are 10 areas in the technical proposal they are rated on. They include their proposed staffing, their subcontracting plan. There's 9 areas, because there's the estimated strategies, the procurement strategies, value-added suggestions, their timeline, their site logistics and safety plan, quality assurance and quality control plan, and unique challenges and solutions. So they stated their response to those areas. We were able to ask questions and interact. There's a weighted score that each evaluator did with each area that the companies proposed that technical. And then we moved into reviewing what they submitted for the pricing proposal. So on the pricing, there's 5 factors in there, from the pre-construction stage to the construction stage. There's the additional information as far as their advisor fee, contingencies, and then there's a normalized price ranking. The areas are weighted on the technical being 55% of the weight of the score, and then the pricing's at 45% of the score. On the 3, the average that came out the highest with a 45.5 area to be the construction manager at risk for the Dogwood project was the A. Altman Company, with a 45.5 on the technical score and a 45.0 on the pricing proposal. So their total rating was 90.5. Second to them was the Knock Corporation, came in with a total score of 84.6, and then Beaver Construction was at 83.7. And it was a very difficult process. These are three very qualified companies, very passionate about this project, involved in the community. If we could pick all three, we would, but we could only pick one. So when the analysis was done on the construction manager at risk, the team has evaluated and selected it to be the A. Altman company. Any questions?
Yes, so thank you for the presentation. It was very thorough. And, I know a great part of this is that this process that the city has engaged in is the first time
Yes.
that the city has ever done a CMR
Yes.
process. Now, this
It was 2011 that the Ohio State Legislature allowed Public Works procurement process to have CMAR as a delivery method instead of just design bid or design bid build.
So this is 10 years of history that has gone by that the city has not engaged this in. And as challenging as this was to us to follow the Ohio Revised Code and learn all of the steps that had to be done and get them done on time, I commend you that you've done a great job in executing that timeline. This was something very difficult to learn. Having learned it, though, I think in the future this will be a process that will be great benefit to the city as we engage in more projects. But there is we'll call it a workflow that's put out in the Ohio Revised Code that the schools use. I mean, this is really how it originated. And it's all out there pre-approved. We just need to follow along that. And that included the weighting of the formulas. Is that correct?
Right, we use the best value rating form. That's the state of Ohio standard form. It's F17003. So that was included in there.
All right, so and that gave us, that helped us get to know what we wanted to ask and what we wanted to value on. So when I look at this process, I have to say, and having done a number of bid projects or design build projects, this is the most thorough process I have ever seen. I mean, we talked about, we put out an RFQ to see who was qualified to even respond. We get respondents, we go through a Q&A with them on all three. Then we develop a short list. All three made the short list. Then they came out for site visits. You went out and worked with that. Then that wasn't it. Then an RFP was drafted, issued with responses due by March 15th. That led to their technical and pricing proposals being submitted, more interviews, more Q&A, more presentations by their group, to the point where then we evaluated. I love this process and would like to see us, wherever possible in the future, try to incorporate more of this into it. It is more work administratively, but I think the end result will be better. It's the evaluating committee's recommendation that we go with the overall best score at 90.5, which was the A. Altman company. Is that correct?
Correct. So there are three parts in this CMAR. There's the owner of this project, which is the city. We have an architectural engineer designer, and then the CMAR. The three of us will work in a good synergy to accomplish this project on time.
The owner?
The owner is the city. We're the owner of the project.
Right.
Then the architectural engineer design firm. We have Randstad or Carroll. And then we will have CMAR. Between the three, the goal of the CMAR is to handle the construction schedule, project phasing, budget, and value engineers wherever they can, submit the bid packages and construction documents, and get this completed on time.
If I can comment, hearing what Mr. Diorio said, and I appreciate the hard work that you would put into this. A prime example of what maybe a project management process is. And knowing that we really haven't done something like this in the past, Patrick, and Catherine, I could see this could be the benchmark that we work off of. And now we do have a benchmark that we get into anything future. as we continue to develop properties that we've been acquiring and enticing companies to relocate here and have a business here. I could see this model continuing for us. And now that you have the experience, I think it can only serve as an advantage for us to go forward and really give us a foundation and share with those who did not get the award a factual basis as to why they aren't awarded the project and why that person or company is awarded the project. So I think it's a very worthwhile process. It is time consuming, but again, I think you have established a benchmark for us that we'll use in the future, like you mentioned, Patrick.
Well, and to your point, Mary, just to add to that, I know where you're thinking, but as we talk about, at some point down the road, we know that this city, for its future, is going to need a new public safety service building.
Absolutely.
We know that.
Yeah.
But, prior to what we've just done here, our only mechanism to do this would have been to design or bid it out. And this assures more quality control and keeping the costs to know what we can afford, and then provides incentives to value engineer. We know that architects and engineers draw things up on paper that in the field add a lot of cost to it that aren't really necessary. And that's what this process will illuminate and be able to maybe work out some of those and get a lower price. And on a big project, the school's doing this right now with the two facilities that they're building. That each of those are in the $10 million. Well, that's kind of what we would be doing down the road. And if it works there and has worked so well throughout Ohio, I'm excited about our potential.
Well, as public officials, we only have so much experience. And yes, this will be a cost, but it's a cost that's an investment for the future. And as you said, we'll have somebody on the job site,
right,
7 days a week or whatever they're going to be doing, and with you as our liaison.
Frequent communication.
That's the big thing. And a massive project like this is really tough for just any one of us to oversee and continue on with the other responsibilities you have. So this has been a big step for us, I think, for the city to, and it goes right along with, again, we're transparent, we're sharing information, but also we have a plan now, and we have a project to follow. And as I think you mentioned too, there's step-by-step, timely advancement of that project that will be followed under this CMR. So I'm very confident that this will prove to really help that project move forward safely and smoothly. When do we, I guess the question is, how do we go forward from this point? Or we should say that we need a vote on the Board of Control, Mr. DiOrio, to go forward with this, or is there any further discussion?
I just want to say this was a team effort. The evaluation team, everyone was valuable. We had city engineer Rob Graham, so he runs a lot of large capital projects. He brought his perspective. So during that interview, the different things they were proposing, from their phasing schedules to their pricing proposals to they had their timelines. Rob sees things from one perspective. We had Director of Administration, Patrick DiOrio, his perspective and mine. And invaluable to our team is our administrative specialist, Kelly Hart, that there's a lot of forms and documents, and there is no better person in managing forms and documents than our administrative specialist, Kelly Hart. So great effort of the team, and after all factors were considered in the interview, we arrived at this rating. To now go to the next step, it would be upon the approval Board of Control, we would notify the highest rater. If they accept it, then we go with them. If they were to some reason say not, we would move down to the second and same down to the third. So
well, that answered my question. If for some reason they didn't accept it, then
right.
Okay,
something comes up,
Yep.
a bigger project happens in the meantime.
right?
Yeah, and those that are not are also notified of our
Okay.
decision.
All right. Well,
Gina, I was going to make a motion to that that the Board of Control award the construction management at risk agreement to the A. Altman Company.
What is the amount?
Well, I mean, technically, for them, it's based on a percentage of the project. We had an estimate of the project, so we would be looking at their proposal as it was slated. That's approximately $187,715, but that was based on if it came in at 1.8 million. We believe in the value engineering of it, that we're going to, we could be less, than that, and therefore their fee would be less than that. So do you want like a motion with a maximum on it?
Yes, we'll have to enter a purchase order. So once what is the percent? We can even put that in the minutes. Is it 4%? Is it 8%? Or what percent of the project is it?
Well, I mean, there's different pricing components. I mean, there's a percentage based on the general condition cost. There's a percentage of the CM's fee, the construction manager's fee at risk services, and there's a percentage for the construction manager contingencies. And so I can tell you what the total is 187,715. What percent that is of whatever it is.
That's okay. So if we could do a not to exceed 187,715 at this point, if you're comfortable with that number.
Yeah. Do you like the exact number, or you want to round it off? Some finance directors have a preference.
I would rather round it off, so in case it does come a few dollars over, if there are expenses that are not included in there that we're billed for on top of it, we would be covered under the purchase order.
Would you be comfortable at 190?
That's fine.
Okay. Mr. Boyer, are you hearing all this?
Yes, sir.
Any concerns on your end?
No, all the concerns that I had were raised and answered. I'm good to go.
Okay. Well, then I would, with the chair's indulgence, amend my motion to award the construction management at risk agreement contract to the A. Altman Company for an amount not to exceed $190,000.
Alabak, second.
With a motion on the floor and seconded by Ms. Alabak, any further discussion on this? If not, we'll call for a roll call vote. Mayor Wilder says yes. Wayne Boyer?
Yes.
Yes for approval. Patrick DiOrio?
Yes.
For approval. And Gina Alabak?
Yes.
4 yes, none opposed. The motion carries that the A. Altman Company will be selected as the construction manager at risk for the Dogwood Park expansion and improvement project. Any further business to come before the Board of Control?
I'd move we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. DiOrio.
Second.
Second by Ms. Alabak. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you.